The way to grow a business 800% is to not focus on your top performers at all. Let your top performers do what top performers do, but create a system to where the weakest link in the chain can still reach the levels of success that you need in order to achieve your goals.
How does getting up early correlate to success?
If you want to sleep 7 hours, sleep 7 hours. If you want to sleep 12 hours, sleep 12 hours. And the key is to wake up at peak light sleep. So we go through these cycles, right? Light sleep, then REM, then deep sleep, then back to REM, and then back to light. It's not necessarily about getting up super early. It's about getting up early enough for me to be able to do the things I need to do to take care of myself foundationally so that I can go out and serve my wife. I can serve my kids. I can serve my clients.
Welcome to the Be Better broadcast. Today, we are joined by a very special man, a man I've heard about for several years now. I've never met him until this morning, and I met him through a friend, Ramon Ray. And you guys have seen Ramon Ray. He's been on the show. We're going to have him back on the show here again in the future. But Ramon's like, hey, you got to speak to Glenn Lundy. He just came out with a new book. I'm part of his Rise and Grind community, which we're going to talk about here today. And for those of you who've never heard of Glenn Lundy, or aren't sure of who he is or what he's done, he is a devoted husband and a proud father of 8 children. That's right, 8 children. He's dedicated the past 2.5 decades of his life to the automotive industry and has built a reputation as a respected professional in the field. As an author, Glenn has written several books sharing his knowledge and expertise and helping people to unlock their full potential, using his experiences to inspire and encourage others to achieve their goals. In addition to his successful career, Glenn is also the founder of the 800% Elite Automotive Club, a membership-based organization for people in the automotive space. He hosts a daily morning show called Rise and Grind, where he shares his insights and knowledge to help people all around the world to unlock their full potential. We've got a great conversation coming up. If you take anything away from this conversation, all that we ask is you please share this show with just one other person who could use it as well. You're the reason the Be Better broadcast has grown to almost 400 episodes because you are the best part of the Be Better team. Without further ado, the man himself, all the way from Kentucky, Glenn. It's great to have you on the show, sir.
Great to be here, man. You said 2.5 decades. Oh my gosh. I was like, dude, 2.5 decades. How did I get so old so fast? I appreciate that, man. Awesome. Just honored to be here.
It's great to have you, brother. So I want to just ask you this right off the bat.
Yeah.
What time did you wake up this morning?
Today I got up actually a little bit later. Today I got up at 4:20 a.m.
Later?
Yes.
What time do you normally get up?
Normally I get up at 3:20, but I stayed up till midnight last night. So normally I'll get up, I'll go to bed at 11. I'll wake up at 3:20 a.m. But today last night I went to bed at 12, got up at 4:20 a.m.
Wow. So the reason I ask you that is I know you've got Rise and Grind, and I know this has been going on for a long time. I know Ramon's been a part of it for a long time. So why so early? I know you live a very busy life, author. You've got several different businesses and ventures you're running. Why so early? How does getting up early correlate to success?
Yeah, so I think it's incredibly important that everyone have some sort of powerful morning routine that taps into mind, body, and spirit, right? Every single day, mind, body, and spirit. And what time you have to get up in order to make that happen is different for everyone, right? Everyone's life is a little different, schedule's a little different, so on and so forth. So it's not necessarily about getting up super early. It's about getting up early enough for me to be able to do the things I need to do to take care of myself foundationally so that I can go out and serve my wife. I can serve my kids. I can serve my clients. I can serve my employees. I can serve my community. And so for me, I got to get up at 3:20 a.m., man. That way I can spend time in gratitude, spend time on my goals, take care of myself physically. If I try waking up later in the day, it's tough, man. Like you said, I got 8 kids that come running at me. I got employees that come running at me. I got, all kinds of things that are going on. So that's like my bewitching hours in the morning. It's my time. And so for me personally, 3:20 a.m. is the ideal wake up.
How long have you been following this philosophy of getting up early and making that time for yourself?
So I've been doing like a morning routine for myself for since 2012, I guess. So right at 12 years. The time changed as life changed. So I've been getting up at 3:20 a.m. for about 6 years.
So you get up at a time that allows you to make time for yourself, to cherish your mind, body, spirit before the demands of the day take over, is what you're
That's
saying.
exactly right, right? Because the way
Powerful.
I see it is we've got to make sure that our roots are deep. We all know storms are coming throughout the day, right? So how do we build a strong foundation so we're prepared for whatever the day throws at us?
100%. So I found you first, probably several years ago, when Ramon posted, which he always does, he posts pictures of himself inside the Rise and Grind community. Tell me about Rise and Grind. And when I mentioned it was a morning show earlier, people are probably thinking like, oh, a morning show, it's probably 8 or 9 a.m. What time is Rise and Grind, and where did this come from? What's the purpose of this?
So Rise and Grind started in January of 2018.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 5:30 a.m. Eastern time, live Monday through Friday. We've been right at like 1,500 episodes, bringing motivation, education, and inspiration to the world. So yeah, daily morning show, 5:30 a.m. It's been a journey, man. It's been amazing.
I've never seen anyone with more energy at 5:30 because I have seen, I'm not sure whether I joined one because it's been a while, but I think I've seen a replay of one. And man, you've got killer energy at 5:30. And that's only, well, actually, if you normally get up around 3:20, that's several hours
Right.
after you woke up. So that explains it, right?
That's
People
the
are like,
key.
I'm not
People
going
are
to.
like, how do you have so much energy at 5:30 a.m.? I'm like, dude, I've already been up for over 2 hours at
Yes,
that point, right? Like, how much energy do you have 2 hours after you wake up? You probably have a lot.
100%. 100%. So for someone who's like, Glenn, this sounds great, man. I know you do it. I know a lot of other people are doing it. I just don't know if I need the sleep. I need the 7 hours. I need the 8 hours. Like, you've got a planner called the Morning Five Planner. It's right on your website, glennlundy.com. How would you recommend someone begin to make that time for themselves? Is it just do it? Is it, ease into it a certain way? What would you say to that person who says that?
So, like, again, like, if you want to sleep 7 hours, sleep 7 hours. If you want to sleep 12 hours, sleep 12 hours. Like, everybody's different. It's not about, like, for me, my sleep cycles are perfect. I function great at 4 hours and 20 minutes. I can also do 6 hours and 30 minutes, or I can do 2 hours and 10 minutes, right? I
Wow.
understand how my sleep cycle works. And the key is to wake up at peak light sleep. So we go through these cycles, right? Light sleep, then REM, then deep sleep, then back to REM, and then back to light. And we do these cycles. People have 2, 3, 4 cycles a night. And once you understand your cycles, the key is to wake up when you're in that very light sleep pattern, right? After you've gotten some deep and some REM. And so the only thing I would say to that person is get an idea of your sleep cycles, which you can do with apps, or there's watches that you can wear, so on and so forth, to get an idea of your sleep cycle. But ultimately, please don't think it's a contest to sleeping the least amount possible. It's really about setting yourself up for success the next day. So if you want to sleep 7 hours and the only time you're going to have time for yourself is at 4 a.m., then you got to go to bed at 9 p.m. the night before, right? Like, I'm definitely not discrediting different amounts of sleep. Just set yourself up for success the night before and the morning of, and that is going to require you to get a good idea of what your sleep cycles look like.
Beautifully said. Get an Apple Watch, get a Galaxy Watch, get an Aura Ring. There's so many different ways to. I don't know what those cycles are for myself, but I know sometimes I'll wake up at 4:30, and I wake up at about 5:30. Normally, sometimes I wake up at 4:30, and I feel great, and I'm
Right.
like, oh, I could get up right now, but I don't. I go back to bed. I use the bathroom, go back to bed, and then I get up at my normal time, and I feel more tired than
And
when I
you
woke
feel
up at
like crap.
4:30.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's why part of our morning 5 system is never hit the snooze button. So your
Oh,
body naturally will go through these cycles. And if you are at peak light sleep, right, and you wake up and then you decide to go back, even if it's just for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, whatever you got your snooze button set for, if you go back, you're going to go through that full next cycle, which a full cycle takes about anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. So you're going to go through that full cycle. You'll be groggy. This is why so many people need like energy drinks, coffee, caffeine, all of this stuff. because they're creating this fog that they have to walk in the morning. They think it's lack of sleep. It's not lack of sleep. It's not waking up at the right time in your cycle.
Wow. Brilliant. I love that. So do you drink coffee?
No, man. I don't know. No coffee, no caffeine, nothing.
Wow.
Never really had most of my life.
Fair enough. So you've never really gone down that road in the first place. Okay,
Correct.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So let's talk about your newest book. So you released your newest book, The Legacy Titles, on Super Bowl Sunday. Congratulations on the launch of your newest book. That's awesome, man.
Thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you. It's been awesome.
So what's the title mean? The Legacy Titles. What's it mean? Where did this book come from? Give me an idea.
Yeah. So the book, The Legacy Titles, is a story of a guy named Alfred. And Alfred runs a car dealership. He's a third generation owner. This dealership's been in his family for a while. So Alfred runs the dealership and he's feeling kind of flat. The dealership has more potential. They're not really reaching their full potential. His grandfather passes away. And when his grandfather passes away, he leaves him a chest. And in this chest is 12 old car titles. And these car titles each have a different principle on them. And so there's a principle like, the 8531 formula. There's a principle of promoting from within, so on and so forth. There's all these principles that are written on these titles. So Alfred then goes and takes each of the titles and applies it in his business. And ultimately, over a period of 5.5 years, he grows his business 800%, right?
Wow.
So that's where the titles comes from. And as far as legacy, Alfred is inspired to create his own legacy, but he's also a part of his grandfather's legacy. And so that's really what ties into the title itself, the Legacy Titles.
That's beautiful. Let me tell you, there really aren't better books than parables. Parables are powerful. I remember there's two books that immediately come to mind that really made a dramatic impact on my life. The Go-Giver, which was also a parable by Bob Berg, which I'm sure you've read, and The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic book. And this is just like that. It's a parable that tells a story, but teaches lessons throughout the story to help you improve in sales. But again, I'm a big believer that if you improve in your sales ability, whether you're a salesperson or not, maybe I should rephrase that, whether you have a sales profession or not, because I believe we're all salespeople. We're selling every single day, every single minute of our lives. And if you improve in your sales ability by reading this book, then it'll help you in every other aspect of your life.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it's interesting. So Og Mandino, the greatest salesman in the world, was an inspiration for the structure of the Legacy Titles. I sat on this book right here for years, man. For years, the principles that are in this book, I'd applied them in my own dealership. I grew a dealership 800%. I knew the principles. I knew the strategies. I wrote them out. I knew I was going to write a book on it someday, but they sat on the shelf and collected dust because it was boring, bro. I'm like, oh, here's what you need to do. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. And I'm bored to death with my own stuff. Like, it works and it's impactful and it'll change your life, but it's boring to try to consume it. And I find that with a lot of business books. It doesn't matter how amazing the strategies are in. If you can't deliver it in a way that people can consume it and remember it, like, it'll never make an impact. So it sat on the shelf. The principle sat on the shelf for like 4.5 years.
Wow.
And then finally it hit me like, oh, write it like a parable, bro. This is how Jesus spread stories all over the world, right? Write it as a parable. And once I realized that was it, I wrote the book in 4 months. And then we printed and distributed, and it's been incredible.
What's up, Be Better family? It's Brandon Eastman here. And as a thank you for tuning in to the Be Better broadcast, I want to give you a very special gift. For a limited time, you can get a free digital copy of my book titled Be Extraordinary, Your Guide to Self-Mastery. This book is packed with insights and actionable steps that will help you to unlock your fullest potential in the 5 key areas of your life. But that's not all. Along with the book, I also want to give you the audiobook version absolutely free. Imagine having the power to transform your life right at your fingertips and in your ears, anytime, anywhere. Go grab your copy at bebetterindustries.com/book. You'll also find the link in the episode show notes. Go and grab your copy and join me in making a positive impact on the world. Now back to the show.
Was it difficult going from that nonfiction traditional style to a parable style? Was that difficult for you? And what did you have to learn or know or understand in order to do that in the time frame that you did it?
So when I was a junior in high school, I went to a high school called Sanawa High School in Flagstaff, Arizona. And there was a teacher named Mrs. Johnson, and she was my creative writing teacher. And Mrs. Johnson was just overwhelmed with my ability to write creative stories and to be able to do it quickly, right? Everyone else would need a week or 2 weeks, and I could do it in a couple hours, write these creative, powerful stories. And so she gave me an English Student of the Year award my junior year. And then she also allowed me to come in and teach her creative writing class, which was a senior class. I was a junior, and she let me come in and teach her creative writing class.
Wow.
And so I've always had this gift to be able to write creatively. I just forgot, bro. I completely forgot. Like I got to adulting, right? I was adulting and I was business and I was doing all of these things. And I forgot that I have this tool. So actually making the shift made it easier. My other books were much more challenging to write.
Wow.
This book was much easier once I was able to write it in a way that I've had this natural gift for forever, but I forgot about.
Wow. I
man.
did not expect that answer. and that is super cool. So how did you remember? Did you remember once you had the idea of writing it in a story format?
It just hit. Like I was studying, we did a 6-month New Testament, read the New Testament and the Bible in 6 months. Like I did that as a part of our community. There was, 150 of us or something that were reading it. And as I was reading all of the New Testament stuff, like that's when it kind of hit. It was like, oh, dude, like parables, stories, man. Like, how to do this. You've done this for a really long time. And obviously the strongest message ever delivered, the #1 best-selling book of all time is written in this format. And so I think sometimes we just get blind, right? And then you get a little bit older, your eyes open up a little bit, and we have these moments. And I just had a moment, and it clicked, and we ran.
Amazing.
All my books will be like this from now on.
Cool. Super cool. I can't wait to see what the next one is. So let's talk about this one before we talk about the next one.
Sure.
So the 12 principles to grow your business 800%. People, everyone, and this, man, he's endorsed you and the book and the 800% Club. Grant Cardone talks about 10X, right? 10X is powerful, but 800%? Like, come on, man. So how do you grow a business 800%? And the way that I want to ask you this is when you look at a top performer, because I've been in sales my whole life in the wireless industry, and I'm 30 now. I started when I was 18, so 12 years, not quite 2.5 decades, but 12 years. So I've seen the differences between someone at the top and someone at the bottom. Sometimes it's simply experience, but then I see people come in who are brand new to sales and they crush it right off the bat. They just seem to get it. They have something that the other ones don't. So what is it that differentiates the top from the average and the bottom? What differentiates those people?
Well, there's actually a bigger, you got to go a level deeper in order to understand it. And this might surprise you just a little bit. The way to grow a business 800% is to not focus on your top performers at all. Let your top performers do what top performers do, but create a system to where the weakest link in the chain can still reach the levels of success that you need in order to achieve your goals. So in the auto industry that I've been in for, as you let me know earlier, 2.5 decades, in the auto industry, typically this is what we see, especially on the sales floor. You see the top performers getting all the accolades, he's getting all the attention, and we're like, oh man, he's a top performer, give the customer to that guy or that girl. They sell 30 cars a month. Why can't you do that? If you can do 30, you can do 35. Meanwhile, they have they're non-driven, not as motivated, not as gifted, not as talented, not as skilled people over here selling 6, 7, 8, 9 cars a month, but we're over here riding our best horses, right? Riding our best horses. What ends up happening is, one, you beat down your best horse. They don't feel appreciated. They don't feel, all of that, because you're constantly riding your best horse. And it's a faltering system, right? Because we have no processes. We're just counting on the individual to be motivated enough for us to win. It's a horrible, horrible strategy. What we teach in the legacy titles is, let's create systems and processes to where the weakest, the least talented, the least motivated, and the least driven is still going to reach the targets you need to reach your goals. I'll give you a perfect example. McDonald's, golden, crispy, salty French fries. Dude, their French fries are delicious. Let's just all admit, they're just phenomenal. We don't know what they put in them. We don't care what they put in them, but they're delicious. And fascinating enough, I can get golden, crispy, salty French fries in Kentucky. I can get them in Florida. I can get them in Italy. I was in Italy with my daughter. I got them out there. And no matter what McDonald's I go to, they're the exact same golden, crispy, salty French fries. But the employees that are making those fries are different in every location, right? Some of those employees are smart. Some of them are not smart. Some are pretty. Some are not pretty. Some of them are new. Some of them have been there for decades, right? Some of them have one arm and are missing a leg. I mean, they have autistic people. They have the wide variety, black, brown, white, purple, pink. They got women. They got men. They got it all. But I get the same dang French fries every single time. How is that? Systems and processes. They have incredible systems and processes, right? You open the fries. You pour the fries in the basket, you dip them in the fryer, you pull them out of the fryer, you put this much salt, you hand it out the drive-through window. It's a system that anybody can follow, that anybody can be trained on. And that is the key to growing your business 800%, is you have to have systems and processes. So I can plug anybody in, whether they're driven or not, and they're going to at least perform at the minimum standard that I need. Then I'm going to have the top performers that are going to bring me up over the top. They're going to do all the extra stuff, right? Which is great. Let those horses run. But I got to make sure my minimum standards are here. And that way my goals are achievable of growth.
So you help develop the people at the bottom of the board versus eliminate the people at the bottom of the board, unless they're not bought into following along with this system.
Well, I create a system that they can't fail.
They can't fail.
They can't fail. Like
Really?
it's got to be so simple that they can't fail. Now, if I have to fire them for character issues or whatever, that's a whole different deal, right? People got bad character. They're unethical. They're dishonest. They don't have integrity, whatever. I fire people for that stuff all day long, right?
Yes.
But the system, in order for me, if I want to grow 800%, it's a big number, right? If I want to grow 800%, I cannot rely on humans. I can't rely, like, humans are unreliable. They're emotional. They have a death in the family. They get sick. They whatever, right? So instead, I have to have a system and a process that no matter who I plug in, I'm going to get the result that I need to get. And so it's not about, and yes, they will develop. Don't get me wrong. We develop people, and I love developing people. Like, that's an important part of my mission in life, is to develop and grow people. However, I'm not tying my results in my business to someone else's ability to develop. I'm creating a system where we're going to win and they're going to win along the way.
You've created a sales process, not just a personal development program.
Yeah, well, it's a, I don't want to say sales process. I mean, I guess you could use those words. It's a business process, right? Okay. Like at 8:30, you're going to do this. At 9 o'clock, you're going to do this. At 9:30, you're going to do this. At 10 o'clock, you're going to do this. At 10:30, you're going to do this. At 11 o'clock, you're going to do this.
Yes.
And we have repeatable acronyms like LEAD, LEADD. That stands for listen, encourage, advise, and develop, and do it daily.
Nice.
So all of my leaders know that this is the process we follow, and I can now duplicate leaders. So as a leader, your job is to listen, encourage, advise, and develop, and do that daily. right? So now I can duplicate leaders because I have that system. I also have a system called the 8531 formula. 8 leads converts to 5 appointments, converts to 3 of those appointments showing up, converts to 1 sold per salesperson per day. So
Yeah.
whether I put a smart salesperson or a not smart, a driven or a not driven, a motivated or a not motivated, I know if I get 3 people in front of them on any given day, they're going to sell at least 1. Most likely because one of those people is just there to buy anyway. They don't care what the salesperson looks like. So we have a formula, 8531. So every salesperson, every day, a minimum of 8 leads that we drive. We don't count on them to drive it. We drive it. I make sure that they're in a position to win. So formulas like that are duplicatable creates a business system that guarantees success, not reliant on the individual personalities that are in the business.
Well said. This is a system that's based in reality. It's based on science. It's based on the math. You do this, this, and this at this time, you'll get this specific result because those results are based on the activity that you put in.
Correct. And some people will exceed it, right? Because they're better or they're stronger or they're more talented. So some people will exceed it, but no one will drop below it.
Amazing. Let's talk about your 12 principles. Not all of them because we don't have the time, but
sure.
If you had to go through these 12 principles in the legacy titles, there's always the 20% of anything that get 80% of the results. What is 1 or 2 of the principles that really speak to you? They mean a lot to you. They're all important. Obviously, you need all of them, but what's 1 or 2 that really stand out that someone could take right now listening to this and use it in their life?
Yeah. So the first one we've already talked about, which is the morning routine. So morning routines not only are beneficial for individuals, morning routines are incredibly powerful for businesses. So most businesses, they start the way that the day starts in the business is people show up whatever time they're supposed to show up. Some businesses are loose about that. Other businesses are not. They show up, they talk about, Fortnite last night or whatever it is they did last night, right? They talk about that for a while. They drink some coffee and so on and so forth. And in the car business, they go out and get breakfast, usually around 9:30, 10 a.m. They're out there getting sausage McMuffins with egg or whatever, right? So the morning production of most businesses is dismal at best because they don't have powerful morning routines that start people's day by igniting the body, mind, and spirit. So in my dealership, when I ran my dealership, we started every day at 8:30 a.m. with a powerful morning meeting that follows the lead process of listening, encouraging, advising, and developing and doing that daily. So we've got music going, boom, 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 boom. Let's go, let's go, let's go, right? There's music going, and then we listen. What are people saying when they're walking in? Right? I'm the first one in the room, not the last one in the room. I know a lot of managers that like to wait till everybody's in the room and then they like to show up like they're the king, all high and mighty. No, I'm the first one in the room. I'm listening to my people. What do you got going on? How's your family? How's this? How's that? Boom. I'm having conversations. Music's going. Right? We're killing it. Then all of a sudden we encourage. I start throwing names up on the board. Nice job, John. John just got me an awesome Google review. Let's read that. Okay, Evelyn, look what Evelyn did yesterday, guys. Evelyn's amazing. Everybody celebrate Evelyn. Boom, boom, boom. Right? We encourage. And then we advise at that point. Hey, we need to work on this. Hey, we had a problem with this. Hey, there was an issue with this. Hey, make sure this doesn't happen again. All right, great. Now that we got that out of the way, let's develop. And this is the key to the powerful morning meetings. You make sure that no one ever walks out of that room without not knowing something that they didn't know before. If you just have the same dang meetings and you're not developing, you're not teaching anything, people aren't going to want to come to your meetings, right? So then we do the development piece, and we do this every day. And then they have a system. Now what? Okay, boom, I'm jacked up. I'm ready to go. Now what do I do? Boom. All right, I'm going to go walk the lot with my manager. We're going to take a couple pictures of cards. We're going to post on social media. Then I'm going to hit the CRM with my manager. We're going to make some calls. We're going to do some things like, boom, let's go. If we can change the way we start our days in our individual lives and in our businesses, massive result. That's number 1 on the principles right here on the back of the book, the Morning 5. Because it applies both to individuals and businesses. So I would say that's probably the most important one. It all starts with that.
Powerful. How you start your day personally, but also in the business after you've
Yes.
already started your personal day determines the rest of how your day goes. It changes the energy, it changes the mood, the vibe, the expectations, everything. And then the day itself is built on a foundation of massive action.
You get it, brother. You get it. That's
I
it
love
right
it.
there.
Well, the thing is, man, it sounds so simple, but no one's doing it except for
Right.
the people you're working with. No one's doing it. And they're wondering, why am I not getting results? Why am I not making the money I want to make? And it's like, what did you do today? What did you do? How many calls did you make? How many people did you talk to? How many cars did you sell? How many attempts? How many social media posts? Oh, I made one post last month because they sent it out and I copied and pasted it. It's like, dude, you got to be doing this every single day.
Every day.
And that's what these top people are doing. And not even the top people, but also the people at the bottom, but they don't stay there long. Right?
That's right.
And it gets to the point where there's always a bottom, but even the people at the bottom are doing well because they're following these principles. So we have 1 minute. I want to ask you this question, and I would like you to give me a 1 minute or less response, if possible, because it's a big question. How do you do everything that you do with your businesses, your consulting, your books, everything, rise and grind? How do you do it with 8 children that you take care of?
Yeah, very
How do
simple,
you do it?
man. Very, 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 very simple. I was having a conversation with a guy one day, and he said, "Man, I'm getting ready to invest in this stock, and I'm expecting this big return." I said, "That's awesome." And then the same guy said, "Man, I'm getting ready to invest in this business, and it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna get an 8 times multiplier." I'm like, "Oh, dude, that's freaking awesome." And he goes, "I'm getting ready to invest in myself, man. I'm gonna go to this GrowthCon conference. It's gonna be incredible." I was like, "Oh, dude, that's awesome." And then he goes, "Oh yeah, and I'm gonna spend some time with my wife." And I'm going to spend some time with my kids. And I've been spending time on social media. And it hit me, dude. The word spend is a negative connotation in every sense of the word. By definition, the word spend is negative. If I spend $5, I have $5 less. And the energy around the word spend is immediately downtrend because it's a negative word by English definition. The word invest, however, always has a positive connotation to it. Anytime somebody uses the word invest, it automatically triggers an expectation of a return on that investment. So after having that conversation with that guy and realizing that I spoke the same way, I decided right then and there to cut the word spend out of my vocabulary. I invest time with each of my children with the expectation of an ROI. If I'm not getting an ROI, I'm not investing the right amount of time. I invest time in my business with an expectation of an ROI. If I'm not getting an ROI, I'm not investing enough time. I invest on social media. I'm not there to spend time scrolling. I'm there to invest, make comments on other people's posts, connect with people that I want to connect with, lift and encourage. It's an investment with an expectation of an ROI. By eradicating the word spend and changing it to the word invest, I found that some of my kids only need me to invest 5 minutes of really looking them in the eyes and making sure they feel special, and I get an ROI. Some of the other kids require more of an investment. Some parts of my business, I can invest very little time and get an ROI. Other parts need more of an investment. Same with my wife. If I invest 30 minutes a night watching Big Bang Theory, bro, the ROI is huge. That's all she wants me to do is just lay there with her and watch Big Bang Theory. As long as I do that, she don't care about anything else that I do, as long as we get that most nights of the week, right? And so shift the word spend to invest. Never use it again. Always invest with the expectation of an ROI, and you can do it all.
Brother, that's beautiful. And I'm really grateful to have invested this time with you this morning.
Yeah, me too, man.
I just even spent this time with you. Like, I'm going to change the way I say that, because spent this time is like what you just said, that perspective shift is huge. So I'm grateful to have invested this time. I'm glad we made it happen. Thank you so much, Glenn. This has been an amazing conversation, brother. And it's
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Guys, this has been high energy. I feel like in 30 minutes, we covered more than most conversations cover in an hour and 30 minutes. Glenn is fantastic. If you want to learn more about Glenn, go to glennlundy.com. Glenn with 2 N's, GLENNLUNDY.com. And also go to the description to grab your copy of the Legacy Titles. The link is right down there. Click it, grab your copy of this book, get those principles so you can 800% grow your business and your life. Start switching the language from spend to invest. All these things are really, really awesome. I'm going to re-listen to this because we covered a lot, and I hope that you took a lot out of it to. Be sure to share this episode if it helped you. And until we talk again next time, continue to be better.